3, 2, 1. We are live. Namaste. Welcome to Sunday Salutation here at the Harrogate Health Club. Christine is our yoga instructor. She's going to take you through a 30-minute yoga session that will wake you up and hopefully set you up for the day. So without further ado, our lovely Christine.
Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. So if you've never done yoga before, hopefully this is a session that will suit you. If you have done some yoga before, and even a lot of yoga, you're probably beginning to be a bit stiff after 9 weeks of lockdown. So let's just start, and what we want to do today is just find space in the body and our mind. So if you're comfortable to do so, start in a cross-legged position, because this opens up the hips. If you're not, if it's a bit too uncomfortable, we can start kneeling down as well. Option to have a raised foot at the back, but when that gets too painful, because it might, just come down into a full kneeling position. And again, option to have a cushion just underneath your bottom and your heels. But what we want to do first of all is just center ourselves. So let's just see if we can close our eyes, if it's comfortable to do so. And we're just going to take 3 big breaths, in through the nose, and out through the nose. And think about breathing down into the belly and drawing the attention to the breath. Last one. And then just blinking the eyes open. Just continue to breathe like that. And what we're going to do is just stretch up now and start moving our body. So these are seated cat-cows. And they're just beginning to bring a little bit of mobility to the spine. So as we breathe in, looking up, and as we exhale, really rounding the spine. I'll just turn to the side to do it so you can see. Inhaling and exhaling. Try and keep that breath through the nose. We're going to do a couple more. And last one. And then just bring the fingertips down to the ground. We're going to put our right hand onto our left knee and find a twist. So as we inhale, sit up nice and straight, and as we exhale, just twist to face the back of the room. Take everything to the back of the room, the head, and even the eyes as well. But keep breathing. If you think you're holding your breath, breathe out. And then breathe in again. And then as we inhale, we're going to come round to the midpoint. And then let's go around to the other side. So every time we inhale, sit up straight. Every time we exhale, find a little bit more twist. And this is where your hand on your knee comes in helpful. And just see how that feels in the body today. Nice big breath in and out. And then come all the way back around to the midpoint. Twisting's often the hardest bit. We're not as twisty as we usually are. So we're now going to come onto hands and knees. Spread out the fingers of the hands and really feel the mat underneath the hands as we do this. We're doing some full cat-cows. A nice inhale and look up, stretch through the throat. Exhale. Take all the breath out of the body and really curve the spine. And keep working like this. And what I encourage you to do, even though yoga is sometimes known as a physical practice, it is really about our minds as well. So see if you can be fully present in the body as we do this. What do I mean by that? I mean, don't be off thinking about things that have gone before you came to be here on the mat, or things that you've got to do today. Just see if you can bring your attention to the breath or the physical sensation in the body. We're going to do one more. Be conscious where you feel this. Is it the neck or the lower back? And then we're going to sink down. We call this into child's pose. So we just lay the body down on the mat. And don't worry if you're not completely prone. We might have the arms bent a little bit and just be letting the head be heavy. If you can, the forehead rests on the mat. Nice big breath into the back of the lungs. And then we're going to walk the hands around to the right hand side. Look under the right armpit. So we can either have have the hands, both hands stretched out in front of us towards the right, but if you can, put the left hand on top of the right hand, and that just gives you a bigger stretch down the left side body. Breathe into the left lung. And then come all the way back around to the midpoint. And then we're going to go to the other side. Very inventive this Sunday morning. So stretch out the arms as far as you can to the left. And then maybe put the right hand onto the left hand. And just lower the body down. But really be conscious of breathing into the right lung. And then come all the way back around to the midpoint. And we're going to come up onto our hands and knees again now for a little lunge. So take our right foot through in between our hands and just draw the body upright. So here we're beginning to work on the hip flexors. So see if we can just release the pelvis forward to the front of the room. And if we want, we can either stay here, this might be enough, or maybe we take the hands up. If we want a little bit more, we can look up to the ceiling as well and just stretch through the throat and the chest. Take a couple of breaths, a nice inhale and exhale. Lunge a little bit more. And then we're going to find another twist. So we're going to take the left hand down to the ground and look up to the fingers of the right hand. And take a breath. So if you're not sure if you're breathing or if you're not conscious that you're breathing, breathe out and then breathe in again. But find that stillness. And then as we exhale, we're going to drop that hand down. We're going to go into a very well-known yoga move. So tuck the back toes under, take the weight to the hands, and we're going to come into a downward dog, our Sunday downward dog. If you've never done one of these before, it's all about pushing the heels down to the ground. So we're trying to make a triangle. So don't worry if your legs are a little bit bent. Try and get a nice straight back and then push the heels down. And you should feel a stretch all the way through the back of the body. Just enjoy that. Maybe that's not the right word this Sunday morning, but try. As we exhale, we're going to drop the knees down to the ground and do that lunge on the other side. So just bring the left foot through in between the hands and come up into our lunge position. How does it feel on this side? Do you feel that you've got more or less flexibility? It doesn't matter which one, just notice. And if we want, we can take our hands up and maybe our gaze up to the ceiling. And just take a breath. As we exhale, just be breathing out. So we're really stretching through this hip. That should feel really nice this morning. As we exhale, we're taking the right hand down to the ground and looking up to the fingers of the left hand. And be conscious, if we can, be really aware of breathing into the top lung. That's your left lung. Take a nice big breath. And then as we exhale, our hand comes down, and we're going to do another down dog. So tuck the back toes under and swing our body back into downward dog. And this time we call this walking the dog. So just swing the hips and pad the feet. And again, if you're not sure if you're breathing, don't worry about it, but it might be good to take a nice big breath as we walk the dog. And then we're just going to push both heels down to the ground. And don't worry if you've never ever done yoga before, maybe your shoulders are getting a little bit tired, don't worry, we're building up strength. As we inhale, so as we breathe in, just raise up onto the toes, so you're lifting up the heels. As we exhale, push the heels down. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then we're going to walk the feet towards the hands. So up we come into an upright position. So don't worry if your knees are bent. That's okay. We're just going to roll through the spine. So the head is the last thing to come up. Let's roll and stack the vertebrae of the spine, one on top of another, and then we're just going to roll the shoulders back. How are we feeling? We still breathing? We're doing a Sunday sun salutation class, so let's just break down a sun salutation so we can find a little bit of space in the body. The first part is we inhale and we take the hands up. As we breathe out, we do a swan dive down, and we bring the hands down to the floor. The head is heavy. As we inhale, we look up to the horizon with nice straight legs. That should open the sacrum, and then as we exhale, we forward fold again. And then we're not going to go on yet. The sun salutation is a series, but we're just going to use the breath and stretch through the hamstrings. So just roll up and take some shoulder rolls. Nice. Let's just take our hands to prayer again. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And then exhale, forward fold. So don't worry if your knees bend here. That's okay. As we inhale, we straighten our legs and we look up to the horizon. Lovely big stretch through the hamstrings. And then we bend down again. And then we're going to roll up through the spine, just as we did before. So we're just getting a little bit more freer with each rotation that we do. Nice big shoulder rolls. Hands come to prayer. We're going to go on after this one. So as we inhale, breathe in. Exhale. Let's lower our hands down to the floor. Inhale, half rise. Exhale, bend the knees and plant the hands. So we're going to come back into a high plank. Just step back with the right foot. So we should feel a nice big stretch here. And then take the weight to the hands and go into full plank. So our left foot is coming back. Push the heels to the back of the room just to give you a little bit more of an opportunity to build up strength in your core. And then as we exhale, we're going to lower the knees down to the ground. Keep the elbows tucked in as if they're glued to the sides of the body, and just lay our chest on the floor. It's a bit weird, your bottom is sticking up. As we inhale, push through the hands and come into Bhujangasana or Cobra. Exhale, chin comes to the mat, and then we're coming back into down dog. So I'm going to come up to down dog through our cat-cow position, and then tuck the toes under and find dog. And that lovely big stretch. And here we get to rest. Now we sometimes say rest in dog, which is a little bit counterintuitive, as it may be a little bit tough this morning if we're a little bit stiff. But just take a few breaths here. And we can either be nice and still and just concentrate on the sound of our breath, or if we want, we can pad the feet, we can walk the dog out. But the reason we do so much down dog is it stretches us all the way through the back line of fascia of the body. So let's have one more push down of the heels to get full effect. And then we're going to walk the feet towards the hands. So as we inhale, come up to that flat back position again. Do you feel that lovely stretch through the hamstrings? Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, push the floor away and bring the hands all the way up overhead. Exhale, breathe out through your heels as the hands come down to prayer. Good, you've done your first one. Let's do it again. Inhale. And then exhale, forward fold. That half rise position as we inhale. Exhale, we plant the hands. Let's step back this time on the left foot and then the right foot to meet it. And then find, we call this chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, then exhale. Let's tuck our toes under and we'll come up to down dog. So if you've been studying yoga before, you may have some variations to that sun salutation in your practice, and that's fine. The most important thing is we learn to coordinate breath and movement together. Just take a couple more breaths here in this down dog position, building strength in the shoulders and stretching out the whole back line of fascia. The head, the eyes are looking at the knees, maybe even to the tummy, and any sort of shakes and wobbles, well, they're all part of the fun. The last breath, a nice big inhale. Exhale, push those heels down. And then as we inhale, we're walking the feet forward again and finding a half rise. Stretch through the hamstrings. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, push the ground away and bring the hands up. And then bring our hands to prayer. Lovely. We're going to step back into Trikonasana now. So let's take a step back on the left foot so we've got our right foot ahead of us. We're going to take the hands up high. And then as we inhale, stretch forward over the right foot. Well, we can go no more, bring the left hand up high. So it's almost like a windmill that we're doing with the arms. And just take a breath here. So Trikonasana is not about getting this hand on the floor, the right hand. It's about creating this lovely big stretch through the left side body and maybe breathing into the left lung as well. We have to use our core muscles. And yes, I am here for a good few breaths. That's the challenge of yoga. But we're going to move now. As we inhale, we're going to bring ourselves up to the midpoint and do a reverse Trikonasana. So keep the legs where they are, and we just take the right hand back to the back of your room. And then we get the reverse stretch. It comes all the way through the right side body this time. Take some nice big breaths. Think about breathing into the belly. And then as we exhale, let's come all the way back round. And we're going to bring in a twist now. So let's see if we can bring our left hand forward. And we might want to step our left foot out to the side of the mat, out to the left side of the mat, just so our hips can face the front a little bit more. And as we exhale, we're finding a really nice hamstring stretch by forward folding. And then take this left hand to outside the right leg and find our twist. If this is a bit much on the shoulder, the hand can go to the waist. If you're feeling very flexy this morning, the left hand can go to the floor and the right hand can go up. So there's a few variations. It's harder for me to talk in this position because it's such a big twist, but I'll give it a go. Nice big breath. And then as we inhale, let's bring ourselves all the way back up. Last one in our Trikonasana position. We take our hands behind us, and as if we're holding a kettlebell or something really heavy, just push the hands away from us. As we exhale, so as we breathe out, lift the tummy out and up, and we're just bringing our hands overhead into a humble Trikonasana position, we call this. We bow over that right leg, and this is probably where we get our biggest hamstring stretch so far. We're also stretching out the shoulders, the trapezius, looking behind us, and breathing. And then as we inhale, let's draw the navel to the spine and come all the way up. Now, well done, little Trikonasana sequence. Bring the hands around in front of you, and we're just going to lower them down to the floor. In order to transition to the other side, let's step back into plank. So just bring that right foot behind you, and let's go down onto knees, chest, chin. And if you're used to doing this, we can go down in one staff. That works too. Tuck the toes under, and we'll find our down dog. And just pad out the feet a little bit here, because we've done some lower back work, and this is a really nice way to release any tension. And then let's walk the feet forward. Let's inhale, look up to the horizon, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, push the floor away and come all the way up. And then we're going to step back on the right foot. So our left foot is forward. See what we did there? And let's just bring our left hand high. As we exhale, stretch forward and bring the right arm up. Nice big breath here. So we're going to do the same 4 variations of Trikonasana. So really working on hamstrings today, opening up the shoulders, but most importantly, breathing. As we exhale, come all the way back up and just twist over, or rather bend back into our reverse Trikonasana. So we're stretching through the whole left side body. Keep breathing. And if you can focus on the breath, or where you feel the sensation of the body, hopefully we're not thinking about other things. And then as we inhale, we're going to bring in our twist. So our right hand goes forward, step the right foot out to the side of the mat, and we're bending forward. Big hamstring stretch. Right hand goes outside the left leg, and we find our twist. So if we want to make it easier, let's put that hand to the waist. If we want to make it harder, lower the right hand down to the floor and find a bigger twisting position. Nice big breath. As we inhale, let's bring navel to spine, come all the way up. And our last one is to push the arms away, as if we're holding that heavy kettlebell. If this is too much, by the way, we can just hold the elbows. That works 2, it's about opening the chest, navel draws up into the spine, and we forward fold. So don't worry if you don't feel that you get very far in this stretch. The whole aim and purpose is to feel like we're stretching, rather than to win the Yoga Championships of Harriet. So just breathe into where we feel the most intense physical sensation. Take one more breath. Take time to stretch out, claim it. And then as we inhale, come all the way back up. Very nice. We're going to go down onto the mat now and just do a little bit of a relaxation. So let's step back into plank, find our chaturanga, hopefully feeling a little bit more flexy, a little bit stronger, a little bit more vibrant. And then find our last downward dog. Let's pad out the feet. And then just lower the knees down to the ground. I'm going to give you a moment in child's pose. And as we fold down here, let's just reflect. Do we feel any different? Do we feel a bit less stiff? Do we feel like we've got a little bit more brain space? Take a breath into the back of the lungs. And then bring the hands under the shoulders and just push up into the seat. So we're just going to find ourselves either back. I think I've got a couple of minutes left in our half-hour session. So either come back into a cross-legged position, or if we want, we can just lie on the mat. Usually in my yoga classes, when I say that, everyone goes, yeah! So this is the opportunity to just lie down. This is called Savasana, or corpse pose. If anyone's just tuned in, they'll be smiling at the woman just lying on the mat. But it's a really important part of practice. And I just want you to see if you can just lose the body now. It's an odd thing to say. But see if, since we've been drawing so much attention to our muscles, just let that go now. Can you feel the mat underneath you instead? After work comes rest. And although you're all keen to get up and get going with your day, also allow time for biofeedback, for our body to assume and process the work and the stretches that we've been doing. So I'm going to be quiet for a few seconds, and I just want you to lay still. And just lie here, just safe in the knowledge that there's nowhere to be, there's nothing to do, and everything is well. If you find your mind wandering, or you feel impatient for the next thing, that's okay, that's perfectly human. Just see if you can really focus on the breath. Can you identify the breathing? Can you feel the chest rising and falling? And we're just going to take 3 cleansing breaths just to end our practice today. A nice big breath in through the nose, and then just sigh it out through the mouth. 2 more times. And if you've been lying down, just wiggle the fingers and toes now. And stretch as you need to stretch. So maybe don't be guided by me. If you've been lying down, you might want to go into a yawn, or bring the right knee in or the left knee, but just see what you want to do. And then we're going to roll over onto our right hand side. And then just push the floor away. And finish in the position in which you started. So if you were cross-legged, just come back to that. And if you were kneeling, maybe find your way to that kneeling position again. And we always end yoga class in the same way. If you've not done this before, we're going to teach you the yoga word that Kevin said at the beginning. We take our hands to prayer and we say Namaste. Thank you very much for joining us.